Hi friends, I'm Amber of the Little Reesor House. I don't know about you, but something I'm finding really challenging about this time of being distant from people is just how disconnected I feel from my friends. One thing I found that has really helped me a lot is that if I make the effort to deliver something to their door, it gives me a sense of purpose for my day and also makes sure that they're reminded that I love them and care about them and miss them. So in the spirit of that, I thought today I would show you how to make my recipe for the best ever sugar cookies. If you don't already know me, I actually have a past where I used to bake sugar cookies as a side business. I spent almost every weekend in my kitchen decorating hundreds of sugar cookies. One thing I absolutely love about them is that they're so customizable. You can use them for any occasion. There's so much variation in design, in shape, in color, in style, that you can basically do whatever you want to do and it will fit with whatever you need it for. Sugar cookies are like mini pieces of art. They're so beautiful and so thoughtful. I know they can be intimidating, but I promise you don't have to be artistically inclined to get beautiful looking cookies. The trick to sugar cookies is that you just have to practice. The more you do it, the better they'll get. Today, I'm going to show you how to make the dough as well as my favorite icing recipe. And I'll show you some of the most basic decorating techniques so you can be well on your way to making beautiful sugar cookies for your friends. Are you ready to get started? Let's go! To make the cookies, you will need half a cup of softened butter, half a cup of white sugar, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. You'll also need some form of mixing bowl or hand mixer and a spatula. The recipe is linked below if you want a printable version. Get started by creaming your butter. You want it to get nice and soft before you start to add the sugar. Add the sugar and continue to beat on a medium speed until they're well combined, light and fluffy. Next, add your egg and continue to beat. When the egg is incorporated, add your vanilla. Don't forget to stop your mixer every now and then and scrape down the sides of the bowl. This will ensure that your dough is consistent and doesn't get lumpy. Once the wet ingredients are well mixed together, stop the mixer, add in your flour, baking soda, and salt. Resume mixing, but start at a slower speed and gradually increase the speed as the dough becomes well mixed. Once everything is well mixed, stop the mixer and we're going to prepare the dough to be chilled in the fridge for the next hour. While you wait for your dough to chill, you can start thinking about what shape you're going to make your cookies. Average cookie cutters are about 3½ inches wide, and if you use a cookie cutter at this size, it should make approximately 24 cookies. After your dough has chilled, you'll want to roll it out with a rolling pin and a little bit of light flour and cut out your cookies. Unfortunately, I forgot to film this part, so you get to see me have a dance party instead. Bake your cookies in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 7 to 8 minutes per tray. The cookies should be golden brown on the edges, but not too well done or they'll be crispy. To make the icing, you'll need a little bit of softened butter, a little bit of milk, a little bit of icing sugar, and gel food colorings to color it to your desired colors. You'll also need a good mixing bowl and a good spatula. Start by taking about a tablespoon of softened butter and smudge it into the bottom of your bowl. Continue working the butter until it's very soft and very smooth. Once the butter is soft, add a bit of icing sugar and a little bit of milk. Remember that you can always add more, but you can't take it out. Continue to work away, adding little bits of each until you get a nice smooth icing consistency. Continue adding more until you build up volume so you have enough icing to cover all of your cookies. The key here is to keep mixing until all of the lumps are out of your icing. You don't want any lumps left. What we're going for here is what we call piping icing. This is what will go into your bag that you'll pipe the outlines of your icing with. It needs to be strong enough that it holds its form, but smooth enough that it's easy to work with. Next, it's time to mix your colors. Remember, same principle applies, less is more. Always start with a little bit and you can always add more, but it's so hard to take it away once you've already started. Add your colors little bits at a time and continue to mix, mix, mix. It's really important that you incorporate the colors really well here. You can get creative with your color palette. Try looking at Pinterest for inspiration or other sources other than just cookies. There's so many possibilities. Once your icings are ready, it's time to prepare your piping bags. You will need 2 piping bags, 2 sets of couplers, and 2 round small tips. Place the bottom part of the coupler inside the piping bag and then fit the icing tip on top. Twist on the top part of the coupler to secure the icing tip in place. Fold down the top edges of your piping bag. Scoop your piping icing into the bag. Twist the top and push it down towards the bottom where the icing tip is. This will ensure that your icing doesn't come out the top as you work with it. Fill both piping bags and set the remaining icing to the side. We'll use this later for flooding. Make sure your cookies are fully cooled and laying flat. The first step to decorating is called piping. Piping is outlining your cookie with your piping icing. What we'll do next is flooding, where you fill in the outline with a slightly runnier icing. This is called flooding icing. What we're going to do is pipe all of our cookies first, so that the piping icing has a chance to dry before we add the flooding icing. Keep the top of your bag twisted shut and apply pressure as you guide the tip across the cookie in the outline. Give yourself a chance to practice here. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Once you have piped all the cookies, set them aside to give them a chance to rest and harden. In the meantime, let's prepare the flooding icing. Add a little bit of milk to the previous icings that you had made so that they become a little bit softer and more free-flowing. Once again, take it slow. Only add a little bit at a time. You can always add more, but if it gets too runny, it's not going to work. You're looking for a consistency like molasses. If you run your spatula through it, it should slowly move back and smooth out on the surface. However, it shouldn't quickly jump back or else it will be too runny. Repeat this process for both colors. Using a small offset spatula, spread your flooding icing across your cookie within the borders you created with the piping icing. Spread the icing right up to the edges of the piping icing so it has something to cling onto. You can manipulate this icing with the offset spatula so it covers the entire surface and has a pretty even layer to it. Once the cookie is covered, gently tap it on the tray to remove any air bubbles. And repeat with all your cookies. Make sure your cookies stay in a single flat layer. This is where it gets fun. Simply repeat the piping and the flooding techniques to do a variety of details on your cookies. Remember that this just takes practice, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, you could always just pipe your cookies. You can still do lots of fun details and they can be just as beautiful as flooded cookies. Your beautiful, fully decorated cookies will need to lay flat overnight to completely harden before you package them up. However, once they're ready, you can get creative with how you pack them. I love using cute little craft paper boxes, but you could do anything. Remember, your cookies might not be perfect, but it's the thought that counts. They're going to taste great and your friends are going to appreciate the fact that you thought about them and that you hand-delivered them. As you can see, cookies can be so fun. There's so many possibilities. It just takes a little bit of playing, a little bit of tweaking, and a little bit of practice. I really hope you give these a try and deliver them to someone that you care about. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Also, comment below if you either have any questions or if you want to share any ideas that you have about how you can make your friend's day. Thanks for joining me today at the Little Reesor house, and remember, joy is found in the little things, like attempting to make sugar cookies.